Hello, I'm Lesley Atherton, and this is a piece of writing called True Crime Detection. My writing group is crammed with poets, accomplished and expressive writers who create in their preferred formats, often carrying out the impossible task of producing more than one fantastic and competent piece per session. The talent and competence of these poets regularly takes my breath away, but I know I will never be able to join their ranks. As you will be aware from listening to my readings over the months, I am naturally wordy and long-winded, and therefore best suited to being a writer of prose. I have my skills and talents, but poetically succinct expression and short, sharp sentences don't come easily. So I thought I'd share with you the sentiments of what my poem was hoping to express. My intention was to explore the dynamics of detective work in the dramas I watch the most. I wanted to explain that solving crimes is dependent on the work of skilled men and women, and that the more experience these detectives have, the more chances there are of the crime being solved. This is where my problems begin. I wanted to begin my poem with the line, "It all comes down to history, that's how they solve the mystery." It rhymes and says what I wanted it to say, but it's clunky and juvenile, like a song lyric that a 10-year-old might compose. Or it even could have been a rap. It all comes down to history, that's how they solve the mystery. Yeah, that's it. It's a pathetic, little, uncool rap lyric, nothing more. But I wanted to extend my explanation. I wanted to clarify that the mysteries were those of criminal urges, intangible surges, adrenaline rushes and trilling wire pushes. There's a nice rhythm to the words, and I like the way they all sound together. But I couldn't fit them in, as they needed an explanatory first line which would serve the purpose of informing the listener that the lines related to forensic methods and inspiration. I carried on by writing, "Detectives think over the crime," and genuinely couldn't find a good way of introducing the idea of fingerprint patterns, DNA testing, and many of the other chemical processes that prove or deny the presence of certain substances within a test sample. So I wrote, "Detection test fizzes, the rages, the steams it phases, wire in the blood, theoretical stuff, genetic kinks, unforeseen links." Not quite a clickety-clack rhythm, but also neither flowing nor easily understood. I clearly am unable to master the skill of explaining without the provision of an introductory explanation of my explanation, which of course renders the entire subsequent poem pointless. Also in this poem I almost created, I wanted to explain how the detective drama Wire in the Blood uses as its title a phrase from T.S. Eliot's Four Quartets, as so: "The trilling wire in the blood sings below inveterate scars, appeasing long-forgotten wars." Apparently the star of this drama, Robson Green, believed it was intended to refer to a genetic kink. Such a kink was impure and unusual, and of the kind that leads to the form of psychosis that the psychologist Dr. Tony Hill might deal with. Interesting, though Val McDermid believes something different, that the phrase "wire in the blood" was a metaphor for the thrill of adrenaline surging through the bloodstream. Val McDermid, of course, wrote "Wire in the Blood." So not only would my hoped-for poem, in tribute to many of the detective greats, have talked of partnership drinks, encouragements to think, it would have ended, just because I liked it, with the line "might, flight, sight and spite." I'm guessing this must be a fairly standard poet's problem, but how annoying when you come up with something that feels right and sounds right, but it doesn't fit at all, especially when it's your entire poem that does it. I do not write good poetry. I do not even write barely competent poetry. What I write is inexplicably shortened prose and tiny strings of rhyming words. So, I'm sorry that I couldn't fulfil the homework mission set for us all this week, but felt the need to relate to you all my attempts at work in progress. I didn't want to simply say that I had tried yet failed, but it was the truth. Anyway, at least I did try.